Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between, hello, welcome. I'm super excited for today, and I'm only sans 4 minutes late. And you know what? For the Venetian blinds, I feel like it was worth it. Had a little finagle with that. But at the Dre dossier, we believe in in-frame uh, effects. So we do gel lights only. No, none of those algorithms over here. Any case, I am super excited for today, you guys. We have a very special episode 2, so it's going to be hard to beat. I have a very special friend coming in who I'll introduce in a minute, but beforehand, I just want to go over a few things kind of for how we're going to structure today's episode. And this is something that's evolving, so I welcome input as you guys have it, because I definitely want you guys to feel like you're getting just as much out of this as I am. And so without further ado, I think what we're going to start with is bringing my guest out, and we're going to talk through a couple of, for like 20 minutes or so, a few different questions and things that we wanted to discuss. And then after that, I'm going to leave 10 minutes with them while they're here for you guys to ask the questions. So as you have those questions, please get them up. And I'm going to try to go through as many as I can while we have the special guest at the time. And then after that, I'm going to stay on for another like 30-45 minutes to go through the investigation from last week, and then to answer some questions from that, and then to kind of talk through a little bit about what's coming out of the investigative pipeline this week. So, and then we'll do a little bit of supers at the end there. So that's kind of the rough structure, just so you guys know. So if you have specific questions for the guests, try to get them out early while they're here. And I also just wanted to say that a thank you to everybody who is a super. It was my first time doing supers this last live, and you guys are so beyond generous. And I just want you guys to all know that this does go, I'm fully readers supported, you guys supported, and it goes somewhere. And I'm really beyond grateful for that. And it supports all the journalism that's coming out of this and for these lives and everything. So thank you guys a lot. And I don't want to keep our guest waiting. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Hello, friends.
I mean,
how's it going?
I feel like I couldn't have picked a better first guest, second episode if I could have tried. Bekah Day, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, friends. How's it going?
Bekah Day is here on this special episode of Alcatraz for reasons that you guys may all be familiar with. Bekah, do you want to tell us your harrowing tale? For those of you who don't know, Bekah Day is a wonderful creator. I attribute you to a lot of my inspiration as well for my own open source intelligence kind of investigative work. And I know a lot of our audiences have, pushed us together for the last year or so. And she's one of the greatest people I've ever could have connected with on TikTok and beyond. So please plug yourself, Bekah.
Hello, friends. First of all, thanks for having me on. How fun is this? This is so great. I love the setup. This is so fun. You reached out to me basically whenever I had a big fiasco on TikTok earlier this week, and you promised to avenge me. And what that big fiasco basically
And by avenge, I mean alive. And so hopefully that helped. I know you're already back on, but we do what we can.
I'll take whatever I can get. But basically, I have a TikTok account and a Substack account, and I do, I guess you could say, amateur investigative journalism, citizen journalism. Specifically, I'm hyper-focused on Jeffrey and the files, the Epstein files. I don't know if we can say that on here. Can we say Epstein?
That's all right. I first 2.5 minutes, we say EpiPen, and then beyond that, we can say Epstein.
But long story short, not to tell you my whole life story, I've been researching this man who is in our current administration named Paolo Zampoli. He's like our U.S. global envoy to partnerships. It's just a big made-up title. And he is the person who allegedly introduced Melania to Donald Trump, a career modeling agent, and Donald Trump's longest known friend that we are aware of. And I've been reporting on him for about a year now. And do you want me to go into all of these?
You know what? Let's start with, because I feel like so much to unpack with it. I
Mm,
think first tell the people what happened to you the
yeah,
day.
and then we'll go into
Yeah, and then we'll go from there into more of like the breadth of your reporting.
very good, very good, very good. So basically, this man in the administration who is also associated with figures in the Epstein files was a modeling agent in Manhattan during the 90s, who now works in the most powerful office in the world.
Wait, are you allowed to legally say? Oh, you're talking about Donald Trump.
I'm talking about Paulo.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
By the way, Bekah like teaches me every day. I have very little time for the like my own investigations in the file, so God bless.
Yeah, it's a lot. But he basically had my TikTok account banned because he knew I was going to be releasing an article that didn't make him look very good and showed that he had lied about his relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell. So he had my account taken down and then proceeded to go onto social
Wait,
media.
how did you find out that he had your account taken down? How does that? Do you get like the rest of us where it's like, oh, you got a strike on TikTok and you're done, or like what did that?
My account was in good standing. Like I didn't have any strikes, I didn't have any violations or anything like that. I was just like scrolling and it was like all of a sudden my account got banned. And I was like, oh my gosh. And like it was the night before my article was supposed to come out that would, not make him look the best. And I assumed, I had my guesses that he was behind it, but I never would have known unless he told on himself on social media, because he decided to go on his official ambassador Instagram and say like, it was me. I got this woman.
Wait, he said that on his Instagram?
Yeah, he posted over on Instagram. He like posted the screenshot of my account being banned, like the screen when it's banned.
Wait, can you send me that screenshot? Can I put it up for the people to see?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I feel like we all want to see what that screenshot looks like.
Yes, and there's even he put like the song, the YMCA song behind it, which is just like so ridiculous. It's like, oh my god.
So you wake up and your account's gone and you're like going through and you're seeing you have suspicions of who it is. Like I know who I would immediately assume it is for me. But you cover so many horrible people that I would think it would be kind of hard to pinpoint which one got you at which point.
Oh, right. I never would have been able to know for sure, but he had to tell on himself. Okay, I'm sending this.
They always do. Oh my gosh.
I'm sending you the like screen recording so you can see that it like the sound he put behind. It's still up, even though my account came back after like.
All right, now I'm going to send this right over to Gabby Kaplan, our producer here, to show a picture of. I don't know if we can get the sound, but yeah, as you were.
But I guess I can show you. I guess I can do a regular one too. But yeah, I never would have known unless he told on himself. So.
Oh, so he didn't. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. So how did he get that? Who did he know? So who do you have to know at TikTok? Does it go to one person? Tell me, because you are a big creator over on TikTok. As someone who's not verified, nor do I have a creator rewards account. No idea.
I mean, I have no idea. Like, there are ways, like, you're familiar with the case Lily and I are involved in with like false copyright strikes and stuff like that. That's a thing, but that was not this.
Lily, friend of the channel.
Friend of the channel. But that was not this. It was like just completely took it down out of nowhere. And I don't know what exactly it was. Like I just raised like hell about it, like when it happened. So I did get my account back, but it's hard to say exactly who he talked to accomplish that. But I mean, when we came back to this app or to TikTok after the little TikTok apocalypse, the first thing we all saw was like a thank you message to Donald Trump. So, I mean, I think we all are fairly aware that it's a little bit infiltrated over there.
Yeah, I feel like, especially, with that web. So if he didn't tell on himself, you wouldn't have any idea that it was him. And so what was that like? So, okay, so whatever. Who do you contact? Do you contact your lawyer from?
Yeah, I contacted like a few people. Well, I didn't even see it at first. And then one of the journalists who I've been working with, Sasha Bosio, he's over in Italy. And he saw it before me. And he texted me and was like, what is this? And it was Paulo's post. And I was like, there's no way. And it was like, I knew it was him, but I didn't know it was him, And
Were you doing any reporting? Was there like anything you put out where you're like, I know this one's going to be spicy, and what was it?
I mean, I was posting, so like he had just like he's been going on like a press tour, like telling everyone that he didn't have any ties to Green. And oh wow.
Wait, was that was the sound that came with it?
Yep, that was the YMCA sound.
Okay, wait, let's play it really quick, Gabby, while you have it up so that people can see what we're
Young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man, 'cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy, young man.
You would think why is it that the most Republican straight men have a thing for the Village People? Like, what is that about? Is that like a joke?
I don't even know. They've probably never seen a music video. I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, the Village People are about as queer as it gets, especially I feel like in June. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Stick to the script, guys. Like, what are we doing?
But yes, it's all just really very ridiculous, and an obvious like violation of like the First Amendment because he works in the government, but like to brag about it is insane. To get my account banned is one thing. Government censorship is one thing, but to admit to it is another thing. Like,
no, I mean, that's kind of so. Let's talk through a little bit before we go into the depths of the files. I think the thing that kind of connected me to you was, everybody was commenting on my stuff. They're like, oh my gosh, you have to, connect with Bekah. And I'd obviously seen your videos and whatnot, but because we cover some overlapping stuff, but like I'm on the data sovereignty side and I was like, oh, well, what's the overlap? But then I got it after a year ago when I started like really watching your videos more. And like, there's such a special, genuine kind of, there's a uniqueness to the way that you approach information that I think people, regardless of what you're reporting on, whether it's, EpiPen, Epstein, or whatever it is. And so where did you get that kind of hunch of like this information that you wanted to seek out? Was it kind of sparked with the Epstein files or was it before then?
I mean, like I've been on the app for a long time, and I think I started like critiquing celebrity stuff, and it just like I always said I would never like do political things ever. I wasn't interested in like doing that. And then as the world progressed, it became like, okay, like I kind of like need to, like it's kind of like my responsibility. And then when I guess I started talking about the files before the election a little bit here and there, like I was mentioning I wasn't hyper focused on it, but I was starting to talk about like Robert Maxwell, those connections kind of thing. But I just always remember like thinking like it was super weird how there was so much information like in the files on the Palm Beach police department's public records, like that have been out for years. And it's almost like, I don't understand. Like, we already have so much right here. Like, it seems like there's a lot right here. Like, why is nothing happening? And then I don't know what exactly the moment I was like, okay, we're hyper focusing on Jeffrey. But when I decided to hyper focus on Paolo Zampoli, it was about a year ago. And for anyone who's not familiar, Paolo Zampoli, like I just said, works in our government, was a modeling agent throughout the 90s, and he was friends and associated with like Jean-Luc Brunel, who was an associate of Jeffrey, and David Copperfield, all of these other modeling agents. And he basically came on my radar because I was trying to figure out how Donald Trump and Melania actually met, because there's so many like different stories and everyone has their own story. Like everyone has their own little tweaked version. And that's how I came across Paolo. And I was like, who's this guy? And I like realized how close he like still was to Donald Trump in present day. And like Donald Trump does not have like, it's not very common for him to have like a long-term friendship with a lot of people. He usually like discards.
And so with Paolo, I know it's kind of like, where do you start with a lot of these things? But like, as somebody who looks at the files as this swath of information, and it's kind of this is all congruent, and it feels like there's all these threads that go everywhere. When it comes to Paolo, you said a year ago you started kind of focusing in on him. What was it that like, were you like researching, or talk through kind of a little bit about how you go about your either methodology as well, or what kind of things pique your interest or your pattern recognition or anything?
Yeah. So I think what was interesting to me about Paulo is how well he documented his life. And I was like, jackpot, like awesome. Like I love when someone who I'm researching has a crazy ego, because they always tell on themselves.
Yeah.
Like that's why I made like Elon Musk really easy for me to like really dive into, because like
I hate. Can I just say, like, I'm Neuralink is like one of my next videos coming out this week, and I'm reminded of how much I freaking hate it, because it's like FOIAing a 4chan account, you know, in this like memeified world. It's the worst. It is the absolute worst.
he's actually the worst. Like
They're like so flagrant. Sometimes I feel like the more boisterous they are, it's kind of like I can't tell how much of this is noise versus, you know, telling on itself. And yeah, I feel that way with Elon. So if Paolo's any indication of that,
you know, and it's just like, I first of all was like, okay, if Donald Trump's friends with someone for like that long extended period of time, they probably have something on him. And I just like really like got hyper focused, because there wasn't like recent photos of him and his like the mother of his child and on social media, and I was like, interesting, like she's kind of being phased out, and I was like, that's kind of weird. And I did a little digging, couldn't figure out where she was. I saw that she had been a UN ambassador, and then saw her name in an article from like Aventura County, or Aventura, I think that's a city, in Miami-Dade County. And it was surrounding the mother of his child's arrest. And she was a UN ambassador. And I was like, what is going on here? And I did a little more digging. I figured her name was on the flight logs of Jeffrey's Lolita Express. And those came out in 2021. Those had been out. And what was crazy to me is this girl had like gone off the radar. The conversation surrounding Jeffrey started up in June last year. It started to become more mainstream. And like that's when like she just wasn't on any social media. She wasn't anywhere, and found out that she had been arrested. And I was like, this is so strange. And very long story short, because I could talk about this all day. Very long story short, I come to figure out that Paolo Zampoli, who is working in our current administration, had the mother of his child, who he was actively in a custody battle with, arrested and taken into an ICE custody detention center, and ultimately deported back to Brazil. And Brazil is where she was born, and ultimately trafficked out of when she was a teenager modeling. She met Paolo, and Jean-Luc Brunel was her first agent. When she was like 15, she was on Jeffrey's plane at like 16, 17. She knew Ghislaine Maxwell, met Melania at 18, and now she is getting deported. It's just really insane. It's just.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Paolo Zampoli now, just to give the people an idea. He is the United States representative for global partnerships. What does that even mean?
It has to be made up.
I know. I feel like a lot of this stuff is, but like, what do you do as a he looks like he was in the mafia.
He like goes around and makes deals, and like on his Instagram.
Wait, President Donald? Oh, assumed. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he just goes around and makes deals. He just did a podcast with Andrew Tate and was talking about how he made. I didn't.
Wait, isn't Andrew Tate in jail? I need to catch up. Is he
no,
out of jail?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh,
He is
God.
not. No. But yeah, he's something else. And he posted yesterday or 2 days ago, I'm posting a video about it tonight, how in like response, a clap back to the fact that like my account was back. He said like to like the haters and the creators of attacks, like go get a job. And then he leaves like a job link for Boeing, and he's like sitting there in this photo with the Boeing family. And in the caption, he also says like, Donald Trump and I are the number 2 salesman for Boeing ever. And if that's the case, where are the whistleblowers then in that case? But like, why would he even say that? I have no idea. He's telling on himself by like making the admission of like, oh, look at me and my associations with Boeing. And he's also saying that he's working on an aircraft, an airline for the Western Hemisphere. Just a lot. And like, this is like the guy who worked with Ghislaine Maxwell in Terramar, who like gave Terramar legitimacy, which was like her organization that she started to, who really actually knows, but to like at least a little part of it was to fix her reputation and Jeffrey's reputation and make them look like philanthropists. But he was the one who was able to get her into the United Nations, give her credibility within the UN. And yeah, it's just, he's just something else.
Yeah, no, clearly there's a lot to get into with this guy. I mean, I don't want to go on a, side quest deep dive. I'm like looking through all of this, like, oh my God, like there is much here. So when it comes to, okay, so we have Paolo Zempoli here. I have to ask you, just as somebody who always feels like I'm jumping in the middle of a disaster of some sort whenever it comes to the files and stuff. I guess it's the way when people are like, okay, I feel overwhelmed by the files, I don't know what to think about. Like, let's say the people who aren't super deep in it, how would you suggest, like, in terms of other than going to your channel and learning about it through people, creators like you, is there kind of, what do you feel is the benefit, and or would you say that people should look into the Epstein files themselves? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I would say, if you're like just wanting to like get into like the file, like, it just really depends what you're interested in. Like,
yeah, I think people like care, like, so I know I find myself where I'm like, okay, I care about, like, I believe women, so like I don't need any like additional information to some degree, because it's like, but on top of that, I'm like, it would be good to know what some of these connections are, because I feel like some people are just on it when like certain things happen. Right. But then I get that like block of, I haven't been around long enough. Like, I don't know. I can't know where to start. How do I do it without feeling like how do I do it respectfully without re-traumatizing people, and also do it, what have you learned in kind of taking in that information?
I mean, yeah, it is a lot. It's a lot of information. And like, that's the thing. Like, it's just it is a beast. And like, the DOJ intentionally like made it so incredibly like difficult to like sort through and really piece together a lot of things. And we're still missing 3 million files. And it's just like, to me, at least in my opinion, I like don't feel like I want to like be consistently like pushing out information about what is going on. But I also am like fully aware that it's not going to be like really, really go time until it happens. And like, nothing, like, we will very likely not see a single arrest in the United States, at least.
Yeah, there's part of me that's like, it's the way that I think about, not to, I mean, the whole thing's macabre, but it's like, I feel like at some point, I feel to myself, more information isn't going to change things, right? Not that we shouldn't know more information, but that there's this part of me, and when people ask, back when I was kind of first starting out, people would always ask, why don't you cover the Epstein files and stuff like that? And there's so many people who do it such great, thorough work, and it's something that is really difficult to cover well, because like, you can't get lost in all of the, I don't know, there's so much to get lost in. But there's also a part of me that is not defeatist, but wonders, I'm like, if women, there's a certain point where women know that like more information isn't going to make me more reliable to you at some point. And so when do you, if at all, do you think that there is do you think that this is kind of gets used to put in front of other issues, or do you feel like, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I just think like, well, in my opinion, just like, as far as like the files and everything goes, like, the DOJ is not on the side of the survivors in this situation. And it's just like going to be an uphill battle until like things change. I don't know if that'll be like midterms or the election. I have no idea what will actually happen. But
whatever happened with Bill Clinton's deposition? Wasn't something supposed to happen with that?
He did his, Bill Gates did his, they're doing these, and like, I've been very like critical that like, there is no point in doing hearings when we're not putting people under oath and we're not letting the public see and hear it. Like, it's just feels very counterproductive. And
it feels like a game of chicken, like of where the Clintons were like, well, we'll do it, and they're like, no, you won't. And it just kind of is like a
right. And it's just like silly, and it just feels like a chance for these people to like look human and like make themselves look explain things away. And like, I don't know, I just think there's a handful of people in the oversight committee on both sides that are equipped to handle an investigation of this breadth going up against a DOJ who is not on their side. Like, I just think that like there has to be so many people who like have to make the decision to work together and like not like, but like once there's not someone to protect, I'm sure things will change. But it almost feels like there are, and like when the files first dropped, I said, this is going to take years for people to like actually thoroughly go through, connect the dots. Like there is so much information here.
Yeah.
And so I just think I've been trying to take my time and like methodically like go through the files and like learn about the individuals who Jeffrey was talking with, what was going on in the government at this time period, what was going on in the world at this time period, and just kind of taking my time, because until technically, we have a little bit that it's going to be go time, and we're going to have to like really be.
What does go time look like, and what do you think starts
that's like saying with the idea that we are going to have a group of individuals who are in power, who are willing to push as hard as they are right now to get justice for their survivors once they have the power back and they can make more decisions. And I think
but weren't those people in it too?
We just need things to really change.
I know. It's one of those paradoxes, because it's like, if everybody in power and adjacent to power were a part of it, then what people do we get back into power if that was also the, like, and it feels like this.
I think there's like a lot of like there's like Maxwell Frost, Stansbury, like these people who I think like actually are like equipped to be able to like launch investigations and like make things happen. And maybe when we don't have like a loyalist attorney general to be going who like whatever that looks like, to actually go after these people, but because like the level that the cover up is happening is just like, so there's so many layers to it. It's absolutely insane.
No, I absolutely agree. And also for anybody who's just joining, this is Bekah Day of Bekah Day. Do you just the Bekah Day Substack, or?
Yeah, Substack and TikTok. It's the same. Bekah Day with 3 Ys.
Yeah, Bekah has been, in depth covering a lot of this. And isn't it funny how the files are not a problem to be in, but they are a problem to talk about in such a way. Yes. One of you got put into algorithm Alcatraz, and I'll tell you who it wasn't. It was not male. And really quick, before we get into some questions, I think from a lot of people who I think have, if you guys want to start kind of putting in your questions for Bekah, I wanted to ask you, what is your most, and I mean your most unhinged, kind of like barely like loose in the back of your head theory that you're like, okay, this is going to sound crazy, like regarding the Epstein universe, where you're like, this one of you that's been cooking on low burner in the back, where you're like, one day this is going to come forward as a thing that I will quietly be able to say, I told you so? Or have you had all of your I told you so moments?
I don't know if there's anything.
I mean, it's kind of like, I feel like the worst thing
really hard to like stay out, because like there's just like this fine line you have to ride to like not be like too conspiratorial,
right?
But I mean, I think like,
so like, is there somebody that like you're waiting for the proof, it's under the redacted things, that like the person, or is that?
There is one. There is one, and I feel like I have kind of like, as time has gone on, I think my theory's been proving true.
Everyone, you heard it here first. Don't clip it. You heard it here first.
But I believe that Jeffrey was the middleman that Elon Musk was using between Tesla and Saudi Arabia's what is it, the PIF, that fund, their huge massive fund that Mohammed bin Salman runs.
Yeah.
I believe that Jeffrey was acting as Elon Musk's middleman, in my opinion.
Wait, say that again from the beginning.
So basically, I believe, so in 2018, Elon Musk was wanting to take Tesla private. He did that whole tweet where he was like, what did he say? Taking Tesla private at 420 or something like that. or like something. It was something like, and it pissed a lot of people off. He got sued by his investors and the SEC. It was a huge issue, and he was basically trying to say like, I had a middleman setting this deal up with me through the Saudi government with this person, and he was never made to reveal who that third party was. But also in 2018, there was a journalist from the New York Times who went and interviewed Jeffrey in his home. It was like one of his last like big interviews, and it didn't come out until after he passed. But in that interview, he's talking about how he had been working with Elon Musk and Tesla, and how he said, like, everyone at Tesla is going to deny working with me because my reputation's so radioactive. And that was going on at the exact same time where he said that there was a third party helping him out to take Tesla private, and he thought it was secured through the like Saudi government. And it's never, been for sure. It ended up falling apart when Jeffrey passed away accidentally. But
yeah.
but,
No, I appreciate the censorship when he passed away.
But I think that he might have been consulting with him about trying to get in with, because now that Donald Trump is like in office and making deals with the Saudi, with Mohammed bin Salman, who's an associate of Jeffrey.
Associated with just about everything now with we do media. Speaking of media censorship, I mean, that's they're pretty low on the Freedom Index report for reporters. Last I checked, I think below, if not close to Russia, which is pretty insane. Well, with that, I would say before we turn it over to questions, I think it's a good note to end on of when it comes to this media monopolization and the censorship. What do you think? Does this like kind of inspire you to push harder? Does this inspire you to kind of be like more like, I'm constantly trying to think of more clever ways to not hide. I hate hiding phrases because it feels like reporting is not like, if I'm self-censoring, then I'm already doing half the work like for them. So like, what are we doing here? And does it really work? I don't know. And I feel like a child, like petulant doing it. But do you have any, like, how does this make you look at your whole account, over 1 million followers got taken away?
Well, I mean, I think it's
like, what if next time you can't get it back?
I just think like, I mean, I don't think.
There you're back.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Am I here? I'm here. Very good. Very good. Okay. I don't know. I think that it's really just water off my back. Like it is what it is. Like I got, a tiny little man in the White House so bothered that he called in a favor to someone at TikTok and got my account.
Yeah, but then without you, then who's Bekah Day? Not who's Bekah, but where is our Bekah Day? Like, where do we get her? Like,
I mean,
that's the thing.
I feel like if he was to do it repeatedly, I feel like I would have to like sue him or something. Like, I just feel like one time, okay, like we'll see what you do next. But I mean, it just is what it is. Like I don't feel afraid of him by any means. I don't feel concerned. Like I'm just going to keep talking about what I've been talking about. You know what I mean? You can't erase people with that kind of a platform. They just don't.
Isn't that it's like there was this point in time where erasing people literally was like just, I noticed in a lot of the war blogs and stuff like of the, a lot of the AI war blogs and stuff. As we move into this technological age of warfare, they use delete a lot, like much more frequently, just talking about like, oh, and you delete this missile over here or that. And I'm like, there's such a freneticness, like a technological element of like, these are real world impacts and real people and real things. And like war is like a real human thing that like we take lives and we like, it's a whole complicated thing. And I feel like with the Epstein files, to like just be like, oh, we're gonna get rid of you is such a
it's just
mess.
It's silly. It's just it's like that's going to always cause the Streisand effect. Like that is crazy that you guys are like just leaning into the Streisand effect. Like it doesn't make any sense. And now so many people can see with their own eyes that you did indeed lie about your relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell as you sit in the White House.
It's insane. If you wouldn't mind, Bekah, I would love to, I'm going to take a couple of questions from a viewership. So let's see. Let's start with okay, I'm finding connections and stories a rate faster than I can organize them. What's your method on staying top of what you find, Bekah?
That's a good one. I use my notes app like a lot because like if I think
You going all in on a notes app?
no. I literally use it all the time to just make sure like if something comes into my head, I have to put it out or it's going to get lost. I have ADHD, it will be lost. So like I have a bunch of like one sentence notes or like names and people I want to look into that I'll just like go through. And I mean, I I guess I would use like a Google Doc. I use a Google Doc, and then when I'm like pulling my assets, like my pictures and receipts and stuff like that, I'll make a different folder for like each person, so I have like their name and like what it surrounds, so it's somewhat organized. And like even then, very hard and difficult to keep.
I know. I'd
Very
love to
hard.
think that I have some like really stringent method. Like every so often, I'll be like, "Oh, this is so organized," and then it's just chaos on the other end.
It's very. I mean, I guess getting in some form, getting it written out, and then like take and not letting it sit for too long is like the best tip I can give you.
Yeah.
It's so hard to keep all of it organized.
And I would say like one thing I'm finding, or I find with myself, just in research in general, I have to give myself stopping points where like I could just go on and on and on, and then I have to like. I started rewriting multiple times this last investigation on Neuralink that I'm gonna put out, and I had to stop myself. I'm like, that's a separate. Like, it doesn't have to be all in one video, or like it doesn't have to be in one investigation. Like,
Right.
I think breaking it up into those chunks where it's like that can kind of create this episodic way of grouping information that kind of helps in my mind.
Yeah. And I do have like I guess one Google Doc that has like a year cuz that kind of goes through the years going from like when Jeffrey was born and then like notable things that happened. I guess I have that, but it's not as detailed as like the exact dives I go into. So hopefully that helps.
Someone was wondering, were you able to speak to any, or sorry, rollback rant. I need to move my mic so I can read this. Were you able to speak to any victims and get their stories?
Yes. Palos and Poli's, the mother of his child was trafficked from Brazil to New York on Jeffrey's plane. And I was the one who was able to figure out that something was wrong. He had her arrested and put in an ICE detention facility. And I was able to get in contact with her and share her story. And she's still fighting to get custody back of her son.
That was that ICE detention that I had pulled up. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
That was the same one. And it's been her. And then there's been another, I guess not an Epstein victim, but a victim of Paulo named Victoria I've gotten to work with. And even like Maria Farmer, she's just like an amazing, amazing woman. She's one of like the very, very first Epstein. She reported Epstein to the FBI in 96, I believe, 95, 96. And there's more, but like truly all of those women are just fighters, and they're lovely people. And they like being able to connect with them has definitely been the most rewarding part of like all of this. And like just seeing like how much they've gone through, a lot of them in their formative years, and being able to be so strong and powerful and unafraid to share what happened to them now is just like, I have so much respect for that, like woman to woman.
And that they're still willing to share. I mean, I would imagine I would be exhausted at some point where it's just like, so I'm so appreciative of the people who are still willing to share those stories. And there's a lot of people asking, what do you think of the theory, talkative hermit crab? Oh, hi, hermit. What do you think of the theory that he is still alive? Where is it? In Florida? Is that the new?
I guess the Palm Beach Pete guy. I don't know. That just really felt
There's
like
no way. I mean, there's no way. I don't know much about his like whereabouts, but it's gonna be Israel, right? Like if he's gonna be anywhere, it's gotta be Israel.
Well, I've thought about that, but I mean, I feel like he'd go somewhere that's not at constant war. But I guess
I mean, but where better to hide than the rubble, you know?
I guess like, but I personally, what I've stood by for a very long time, even though there are some things in the files that pique my curiosity. I believe that Jeffrey's life was taken by I believe it's Michael, last name Tartaglione, who was the police officer who was in prison with him, his cellmate, who Jeffrey said attacked him during like the first attempt, but he said he was attacked by this inmate, and he was a former police officer who committed like a quadruple murder, I believe it was. It could have been triple. And he just like really fits it. Like it could just, I don't know, I just feel like it could have really been him because of a lot of different reasons, because of some things that Mark, his brother, has said. And also right after Jeffrey died, he would be assigned an attorney, and he had been in prison for at least a few years at this point. His trial was long over. He got assigned an attorney named Bobby Sternheim, and that would end up going on to be Ghislaine Maxwell's defense attorney as well. And in present day, he has been trying to get a pardon and get out of prison. And he's been in contact with certain journalists like Jessica Reed Krause of House and Habit, talking to her. And like she recorded one of their phone calls and posted it from prison. He's in prison from prison. And whenever Maureen Comey was fired and called Michael Tartaglione in prison, was like, Maureen Comey was fired. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Everyone's so excited. So bizarre. And then, you know, this mysterious note given by Michael Tartaglione kind of comes out of nowhere. And as he's trying to get a pardon, and Ghislaine's trying to get a pardon, and it's just all very fishy. And I just think it would be more difficult for them to keep him alive. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't think he took his own life. I don't.
But here's the other thing. I think, you know, there's obviously an endless, like so many files already, but do you think that there's like the ultimate, only he knows, like if he was this much of a record keeper, he knew that this would become powerful at some point. So then at what point do you say, like, everybody's going to know that I have a lot, but they're going to know that if they fully get rid of me, they'll never get the one thing that they, you know, that kind of leverage.
Right. I mean,
would it matter?
I just don't think he needs to be alive to keep the network operating. I just don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just don't think so. And I don't know. I think there's a lot of suspicious things, though. Like, we technically don't know if he's remains or where they are. Like, there's just like a lot. There's a lot not to even get to, because I know that there was a whole conspiracy about how the Jeffrey who passed away was like Hillary Clinton's brother who passed away, and it was like just a lot of different theories, and I can't do it. I can't.
You talk about keeping things straight. No, I feel you. Okay, so we'll move forward. Palm Beach Pete, right now he can stay for right now. He can stay. We don't have anything to say otherwise. Yeah. Do either of you use Ian Carroll's web, especially researching the PDF files? Do you use web? I see this web thing. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what web is.
I don't know what that is. I love Whitney Webb, though. I love her work.
No, that's what I was always thinking. It was Whitney Webb, but I don't think it's Whitney Webb. I think that it's like a organizer notes situation. I see it on X a lot, but I for a while was thinking Whitney Webb. I'm like, wow, everybody uses Whitney Webb something. Maybe it is her thing. We'll have to look into that.
She's a great we love her.
It's not like the James Webb Telescope, right?
I mean, there's so many webs.
Probably not. Oh, or is it and Web, our new app lets you AI analyze your file set. Oh, interesting. We'll have to try it, or we'll I'll get Bekah's to try it, and she can come back and tell us what she thinks about it. Bekah, I don't want to keep you for too much longer. I just want to give you the platform for everybody coming in. I realize I didn't put her name on her thing. We're learning here, and we're sorry here. Bekah Day, tell the people where they can find you, and I'll link in the comment section in the actual video for everybody to find as well.
Perfect. You can find me on TikTok at Bekah Day. There's 3 Ys. It's just Bekah Day spelled like just how you see it, but there's 3 Ys on TikTok and Substack and YouTube. It's the same username everywhere. And we're just diving into the files until further notice. And we've been here in this rabbit hole for quite some time.
Yeah, I really enjoy your Substacks, by the way. If you're not following Bekah on Substack, and this also shows platform diversity is really important. So please, like, I know you have 1 million and plus followers over on TikTok, but they should also go follow you on Substack because you have some really great pieces.
Well, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, and thank you for joining episode 2. I'm gonna we'll play some sound off music for you at some point. We'll get the whole thing put together. Bekah Day, ladies and gentlemen, please go follow her.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us.
Have a good night, Dre.
Bye. All right, guys, that was Bekah Day. I'm still learning. Like, I'm trying to look at things over here and over here. So I apologize. Thank you guys for staying with me. Looking at all the commands here. Isn't Bekah the best? Bekah does the deepest dives on the Epstein files that I've ever seen. And I think what attracts me to that style of reporting is it's so original. She's so methodical, and she very much, you can tell, has her own point of view and is so has a refreshing perspective that I know that I find akin to my reporting, or that people were constantly telling us to work together. And so over the last year, we have mutual friends in other spaces of the creator world. So I'm so grateful that she was able to join us. So guys, back to business, aka data sovereignty business. Let's catch up. Okay, where did I leave you? We left off before I had put out the passports.gov. I think before I kind of go into next week, or this week rather, I'm putting out tomorrow the Neuralink video that I've been working on that is kind of pulling back some of my old reporting. So before we go into that chapter, this is not a closed chapter with these .govs. I have every morning I'm reading and checking to make sure that no new .govs have come about, that none of them have flipped, meaning gone live, that were dormant before and whatnot. So I think before I cross over the threshold with that, I wanted to kind of talk with you guys a little bit about what was found in the passport stuff, because I think that there's a lot of confusion and questions. And for anybody who's got any questions with that, I'm going to go through some of the supers with it, with these .gov sites, and then we'll kind of end on a little bit of a tease for what's to come with Neuralink. And then at the end, I'll tell you guys what's going to be coming up with the Substack tiers. I'm going to be doing membership. I know a lot of you have been asking about different membership options and stuff. We'll go over that in a little bit. But first, with the passports.gov stuff, as I said before, I think that when it comes, I know a lot of you need your passports done. Just as much as I've been able to investigate into this, I recommend doing that in person, because the National Design Studio, for those of you who maybe didn't see, you should definitely check out the video that I put out this last week. It goes into this kind of 4th of July date that is up and coming and very much something I'm keeping an eye on. And there seems to be a lot of switches that are going to get flipped that day in terms of data sovereignty, data aggregation that I'm worried about. And I think a little bit of that does have to do with the Genesis mission. The Genesis mission, for those of you who don't know, is the Manhattan Project for AI. And it is basically the Department of Energy is combining all of the data sets that the government has on the people, which have sat in these separate labs, putting them all together. Well, I'll pull up a little Genesis mission decal. And essentially the plan is for them, as they say, they're going to make better medicines and use it for science and all of these wonderful things. But also on the other side, for every one scientist who wants to help cure something, there's another who wants to use it for AI warfare, weaponry, all that kind of stuff. And I've noticed that there are a couple of supercomputers that are supposed to be finished on and around July 4th. And the passports has a lot of really sensitive information that is also happening on that day. So just let's all keep a very keen eye on these different events. The Trump accounts, which we went over in the last live as well, make me a little bit nervous. Let's pull up the Genesis. And yeah, so this is all just, I want to let you guys know as I move on into these other investigations with Neuralink, I never drop threads. Every day I have my list of dossiers of stuff that I'm kind of going through and revisiting old reports. My Google alerts never get turned off. And so with that, we'll leave it on this. Keep an eye on July 4th, because I do be thinking something's going to happen. That I feel like they're kind of creating this one day for I don't know. I don't want to get too conspiratorial with it. But I do think if anybody else sees any findings from July 4th, send them my way about like anything being launched or like anything data wise. Like, oh, I noticed Trump's, Trump kid accounts come that day. Like that kind of stuff is really interesting because the new era begins now or July 4th. I'm not sure. I guess soon we will see. And on July 4th as well, I'm working on putting together a little bit of an index for everybody that's going to be announced soon. But every July 4th, this year in surveillance index, that'll be really cool and cool as surveillance can be for us to kind of look back on the year once a year around America's birthday. If they're going to pull this stuff on July 4th, I feel like throwing a surveillance index, a recount, kind of like the reporters index. I don't know if you guys have seen it, where you can see how reporters index around the world, Reporters Without Borders Freedom Index. Yeah, this one here I'll share. They put out this index every year about which countries are still media sovereign and which ones are not as much. And they have maps, global scores, all of that. And I would love to put together let's do sociological indicator. There's a lot of stuff you can play around with here, and they give you different barometers, and every year they put out a new report that tell you how free reporters are in which countries, and they have a point system and stuff. And I'm working on something for the surveillance index that's going to come out every July 4th. So that'll be released on my Substack. It'll just be a report, no video. But yeah, I'm very excited about doing something similar every July 4th. So I will also launch something on that day. And yeah, let me look at some of what you guys have question-wise regarding can you set up membership? So yeah, the membership stuff, this is a good segue. I have a tier system that I am working to launch by the end of the week on Substack, and that's going to be I'm a writer first, live/YouTuber second, and so that's really where my reporting lives in terms of my sourcing, and my written work is always much more in depth than my YouTube. My YouTube work is always a much more concise version of the written work. So please, if you really want to, follow along, and I'm going to have a whole member section over there that's going to have some special treats within the different tiers, including getting credits. If you want on the back end of the videos, I'm going to start rolling credits, all of that, but you'll see in those packages as they come out at the end of the week. And again, I'm reader funded, and I'm really grateful to be reader funded because this has kept my work independent. And I think it's a really cool thing that we are creating our own media outside of media. So thanks to you guys for all of that. And yeah, a little, I guess, going into next week, I'm just kind of looking at some of your guys's. Going into next week, I am going to start going into Neuralink. And I have found basically there's been reporting. I don't know if some of you are maybe the OGs who have followed my original reporting on Neuralink. And I think a lot of the reporting gets reduced down to like one or two of my the videos that like did like 10 million views before getting ripped down on TikTok of the potential when there's no oversight in those kinds of Neuralink's Elon Musk's BCI company, brain chip interfaces, and when he's moving very fast through regulatory processes, and Elon Musk with Doge has also been tearing down a lot of processes. And my 7-part investigation last year was kind of looking at what happens when you break down the regulatory hurdles and you also are pushing this really expansive, really experimental kind of technology, and you have vulnerable populations, which means a lot of different things. People with ALS are vulnerable populations because there is a desperation and this feeling of they have no other choice, and they have, some people can't even speak for themselves in many cases. And so there's just a lot of ways that we have to be very careful about what is happening over there. And, history would serve us to show that a lot of times this kind of stuff gets experimented more widely. And so I'm going to be kind of tearing those files back open again, starting this week. And I imagine, which like the Elon Musk of it all, I hate researching him, like everything. He's such a troll. I today spent 2 hours looking at this website that I'm pretty sure he just made up. It's a whole thing. We'll have to get into it after I release this episode. There's so much I want to talk to you about in next week's live, guys. Yeah, I also am going to keep these lives, just so we all know, around an hour and a half, mostly because with guests probably a little bit shorter, because I really I want to get value, like the having this be about Bekah and the Epstein files, but also I want to answer some of your guys' questions, but want to kind of get into the next video with Neuralink and kind of talk through it with you guys for next week. So I'll go through my supers here, and we're going to kind of find a rhythm with this as we keep going, by the way. You go, Nancy Dre. Thank you. I hope you guys liked the intro for 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a good time, right? I imagine that's not too long. And I'll edit it, this video the next time when we put it out, so that there's not a 25-minute wait. So you live and you learn. Carnage XIX, Nancy Dre. Is this what, let's make sure before we make this a thing that's not already copyrighted. Wait, Nancy Dre, because otherwise I might get sued for it. I'm not gonna lie, but I'll let it go for now. We'll sit with it for now. Until somebody comes with a lawsuit, we'll Nancy Dre it up. I love a musical intro. It feels like I'm following footsteps of Humphrey Bogart. Thank you. That was kind of the Venetian blinds. That's kind of what we're going for. We can play around, right? See, red's a little too much. The blue doesn't really do. Yeah, I like yellow. Yellow is good. Feels like I'm following footsteps of Humphrey Bogart or Sam Spade or Jack Nicholson, and Jack Gits through foggy night, uncovering the truth. Yes, sir or ma'am. I agree. And I also like your mysterious hat photo. I thought about getting a hat. I'm not gonna get a hat. I can't do a fedora. It's gonna throw me back to the 2010s when I tried to do it for a second and I wore like striped shirts. Was I maybe just a mime? No, that was definitely like a look, right? We wear like the striped shirt and fedora. They don't wear fedoras, they wear little French hats. Anyways, moving on, here for episode 2. Yes, Ashrani 9126. Thank you so much for joining for episode 2. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still the lives are very different. Then I've got my lovely producer, by the way, on the back end, Gabby Kaplan. None of this could be possible. Say hi to the people, Gabby.
Hello, how are you?
Gabby, where can the people find you, by the way? Wonderful producer.
Oh, you're
Gabby.
so sweet. If you're interested in death penalty or criminal justice coverage, I am at Gabby Kaplan Docs. So thank you, everyone, and thanks, Dre, for doing this.
Yeah. And so all of the things that go well, that was Gabby, and anything that goes wrong was probably me in terms of my clicking around. So thank you. And y'all are the best. Thank you, Dre and Bekah. Rebecca Homas 13. Do you guys like when I say 13? What, like the numbers too? Right. Well, we'll figure it out. Thank you so much for supporting, guys. Love your works. Thanks. Love this comment. Thank you. Appreciate you doing these lives. I appreciate that you guys like lives. It's kind of weird. I feel like, and this is something that maybe people talk about or don't talk about, talking to yourself, like I know I'm talking to you guys, but like nobody's in the room to like respond to it, you know? It is an interesting thing. I wish all of you could have little mics and tap in. Should we just do Zooms? Is that what? Maybe we should just do Zooms at some point. We'll play around with it. I know if you join one of the tiers that get launched later this week, that is one of the sub tiers. So, and you're doing amazing, sweetie. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much. All of these are so lovely. And CoffeeZilla vibes. Wait, I will say CoffeeZilla, Anonk, D9K. I am obsessed. I love CoffeeZilla. What I love about him, if nobody has seen his work yet, everybody should go watch it because I appreciate the thoroughness of his investigations. He's so clean, he's so concise, he's so good at just getting to the point. And I think his animations and stuff, I gotta get to know whoever his animation guy is. That guy, they do a fabulous job. And I like that he dresses up for work. I think showing up in suspenders sets you apart. And I think what I'm gonna do maybe is make for you guys when we do this, do the investigation jacket, and then maybe I'll have my fun jackets in the videos so that you guys can kind of have this one. We'll figure it out. If you guys aren't wearing jackets, I'm going to be so embarrassed because I thought we were all wearing jackets to this. I am reporting. Oh wait, let me see. How do I pin this guy? Oh, wait, this one. Here we go. I'm reporting. Kevin is a human. All right. I feel like most humans don't say that, but I'll carry on. I'm reporting on the transhumanists at the AIcults.com. Can't wait to see your Neuralink reporting. Oh, thank you. The AIcults.com. I'll have to bookmark that and check it out. Yeah, there's a lot. I think that there's a lot of directions that brain chip interfaces. Obviously, it brings up a lot of different emotions and a lot of different regulatory questions, and just it's going to ask the ultimate question of whether or not you are your data. There's this in many countries, this idea that your data is an extension of you, and in Germany, I believe, is one of them. In the U.S., we have it very much not that way, to the point where our healthcare is not necessarily always covering our data in the same way. But yeah, I think that BCIs, your thoughts being able to be put on a computer at any point because you never stop thinking, like it's really going to come into question how much of that is yours versus once it escapes your head, is it like patented to somebody else? I don't know. Those are some questions that we're going to have to unfortunately answer. Don't have TikTok or Kelly Poninus. Is there a joke that Poninus, don't have TikTok or Instagram? Are you young people interested in topics? Elderly people, I was surprised to hear your guest had such a big audience. Yeah, TikTok. TikTok is one of those things that I think back when the algorithm was good, it was like really good. And I feel like Instagram is one of those kind of default, Mark Zuckerberg's never made it really that good of an algorithm, except for Facebook Marketplace, I will say. Has a pretty good algorithm. But outside of that, I feel like, honestly, I'm enjoying X a lot more than I thought I would. And I hate that I'm saying that out loud. And I think at least what I'm building with you guys, I'm really enjoying that we get to have like these kinds of conversations. And rather than worrying about being everywhere all the time, we can kind of bring things in. But yeah, Bekah Day has millions plus followers over on TikTok, but she has that also not just because of what she's reporting on, but how she reports on it. And I think that, if you've never seen a Bekah Day video, I recommend. She's also on Substack, like I said. I'm sure you've seen her videos just through other people sharing it, but she does a really wonderful job of the way that she reports and how she finds information and walks you through it, where it's not just kind of reporting the bylines, if that makes sense. Is it weird that Quintessential Contrarian wants to know is it weird Candace is not getting censored for what she says on her platforms? Well, I think that there's censorship on different levels, right? I mean, at the end of the day, these platforms are taking these algorithms are taking these kinds of different, not bets, but taking these different rationales of how many people does this person bring to this platform. Candace going live helps a lot because being live, means that people are all kind of congregating to your channel at one time, and it's going to live there after the fact. Once it starts getting cut up and put on other platforms, I think that's probably when she probably sees the most pushback. She's probably also got it pretty well down to know what she can get away with and what she can't. But I would say she probably is getting censored a lot on her platforms in ways that she's just had to kind of, fruit ninja around, if that makes sense. But I think as you get bigger, obviously, it doesn't get as difficult in that. Well, no, it gets difficult in other ways. But as you get bigger, it's easier to have the leverage on your side to say, okay, well, so if you're going to kick me off of this, then I'll go over there. And there's a lot of people who would love to throw money at Candace to say, get off of YouTube and come over to us and we'll have a channel with you. And so I think, yeah, YouTube has something in wanting to keep her there. But yeah, it's all about who's got the leverage, and she's smart. She's a smart cookie. She knows where she's got leverage. Thank you for all of your investigative work. Ava Moon, F9G, thank you for joining the investigative work. It only matters that you guys are here. Apologies or Alyssa Anderson, apologies if you've already covered this. What do you think about the outcome of the UFC event at the White House? Seems like it went okay. Did it? I'm not gonna lie, Alyssa. I have not checked in on that. Let's check in on that right now. What is the dealio on the UFC White House? What was it for? This was for the Freedom 250 event, right? Let me share my screen with you here. We'll pull this over here. So are you asking, did it go okay? Like, did the people you want to win, did it go okay? Because it looks like here are the winners. We've got these guys and those guys and a whole lot of other guys. Hopefully, Alyssa, these are the people you wanted to win and lose. But in, let's see, group, UFC event. Oh, okay. Well, let's see. What's this? FBI says, I'm sure FBI says a lot of stuff. FBI thwarted a plot. Says FBI thwarted a plot targeting Sunday's UFC event. Oh, sorry, this is BBC 2 hours ago. Oh, 2 hours ago. Guys, breaking news. The FBI thwarted a plot targeting Sunday's UFC event at the White House and has arrested 5 men. The U.S. Justice Department said on Tuesday part of the plan invoked striking nearby buildings with explosive-laden drones. That's one of those words, guys. These drones, it's going to be drones v. drones. You've heard him say it. You're going to hear him keep saying it. On high-value targets, prosecutors allege. Because, the drone, remember the ballroom, the drone-covered roof? This guy is very predictable in many ways. Let's see. Does he sneak ballroom in? High-value targets, prosecutors allege. Suspect was arrested in Ohio last week where investigators reviewed encrypted messages involving other alleged conspirators. Prosecutors said that charging documents they had allegedly expressed okay. Right. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so that's BBC's reporting of this. Let's see what else. Who else reported on this? We've got teen amongst arrests in attack. So wait, there was an attack that was not the attacks like the people hitting each other at the wrestling thing. There were two. You know what? Maybe pick a more cordial event if there's gonna be a found attack. I'm not saying that maybe there were. Let's go in independently. Don't editorialize. Let's try CNN. Let's see how they're doing. 2 hours ago, the UFC Freedom 250, Elon. Okay. Federal officials have charged multiple people they claim tech UFC fight criminal against one of the. Okay, according to the criminal complaint against one of the alleged plotters, the mother of one of the defendants, 19-year-old Tyson Proper, called local police on June 10th, saying that she was concerned about her son because of his recent conduct, which included buying guns and communicating with a group of radicals online. Okay, so there's a couple of things. Yeah, I'm freaking sure. Okay, let's look at this. There's a couple things I like to do sometimes when I get this kind of news. This is InVid was made by, I believe by Bellingcat. And let's see, let's open this toolbox. They have all of these tools, share this tab instead, where I like to put in, it's kind of will help with identifying if things are AI or not. I think I talked about this in one of my posts on Substack, but it's a free extension that you can put in your browser that I use, and I found it on Bellingcat's website. And it's not perfect, but what it does allow for is some sort of, if you just need to like quickly get in or out of your head if something is real or fake or where things kind of started aggregating, you can do different searches, a fact check search. So you can do, it's enhanced by Google. Again, it might be a little bit out of date, but you can look up type this person and you can start seeing, let's see, date. Oh, wait, maybe, do we have to do the website? Let's take this UFC fight. throw that in there and see. Weird. Okay, well, maybe that part of the plugin, either I was doing wrong or that's not typically how that guy works. The fact check search, it provides a customized search engine for fact check search. Okay, we're gonna have to look into this tool because I haven't used the fact. Usually I just go to the plugin for X and I just see what other people are saying for like Tyson. What was his name, guys? Tyson. Where was he? Tyson proper, and see and like where this was coming out from, any account names, blah blah blah. Nope. Okay, let's submit, or yeah, let's just submit, see what comes up, and it'll try to filter it through this. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty breaking. Interesting. Sammy C. So we have the biggest. So this is the alleged. So I'm kind of putting this together. So suspect in custody after shock. So this was like the plot guy. UFC attack search tunnel war videos. Let's pull off over anywhere near you, advance. Let's pull off over here. 1 second while you guys look at this. I'm gonna grab Tyson proper Danville. Show this Columbus Dispatch. Interesting. The key ringleader alleged. Well, it's Nebraska. 5 men arrested 5 hours ago. Here we go. So this is the United States Attorney's Office, Southern District of Ohio. This microphone is really throwing me off. It's in the way. There we go. Okay. Others attending the Ultimate Fighting Championship at the White House from the U.S. Attorney Office, Southern District of Ohio. Let's see, Columbus, Ohio. Sorry, skimming through it. Charges against 5 men for alleged plot to carry out an attack to kill government officials. Man, what's the Truth Social on this, guys? What are we seeing on this? What has Trump said about this? Trump, Tyson, proper Truth Social. Let's see what he's tweeting or truthin' about. Truthin', good God. Has he said anything about this? Not yet. What was the how is it that they found the accounts? Oh gosh, what was the account that did the whole aggregated all of the X accounts for the last time the ballroom was mentioned? Let's see if Tyler posts in ballroom, if that's a mention too. Interesting. But this is definitely, you know, I was thinking about how this event got moved up a little bit. This was supposed to originally happen, I think, with all the other 4th of July celebrations. But this brings me to a good point. The ballroom was recently in court. The ballroom bunker situation that obviously the last time there was a big scuttle at a live event, they used it as a means of furthering the ballroom justification, which was the White House Correspondents' event. And I noticed they moved, I believe, this UFC date up by a few weeks, right? It was supposed to be more around the 4th of July, but I think when they went to court, I think it was 2 Fridays ago, and they're like, it's ongoing litigation about whether or not they should continue with the ballroom. They decided to move forward this. I remember seeing that they moved forward this UFC fight, and I thought it was just to put like a spectacle of this big ugly thing on the front lawn and whatnot. But it doesn't surprise me that there's, of course, an incredible feat by, how could you have, wait, Tyson proper, but it's not Mike Tyson. This isn't Mike Tyson, right? Tyson proper is his name, spelled differently. No, I don't like that. I'm gonna have to look into this a little bit deeper. But a suspected in drone plot cited government control. Oh, wait a second. Let me show you guys this. This is silly. Not silly, but like, come on. What do you mean drone? What do you mean drones? Like, this is the UFC attack plot against affidavits give one detail on Ohio suspect. Oh, Columbus Dispatch for $1 for the first month and then $149 for the year. Dispatch, one of my favorite OSINT tools that I like to use is, or sorry, not OSINT. I use these free. I do the web page archives when I can. I feel like freedom of information. I don't put information behind paywalls. I feel like we should not either. Columbus Dispatch, affidavits give one new detail on Ohio suspect. FBI says it was thwarted, it said it thwarted, oh God, an alleged plot to attack UFC Freedom 250 with drones. Because remember, these are big, strong men, Freedom 250 UFC. So I guess the one thing would, yeah, you'd have to go drone. You know how you can fly a drone in DC easily? Okay. This is going to be the drones. This is going to be another way for him to defend. Oh, we need the drone roofs in there, the drone ceilings, whatever he kept saying in his original defense of it. And that is one of the things they seem to be hanging on to in this current litigation of with the ballroom. So drones is going to be the one they hang on this time. And it will circle back to the, oh man, if only we had drone roof ceilings in the White House, then we could have protected against this, even though they thwarted it. So, I mean, I guess they were protected. So I don't really see, okay, let's say that this was earnestly, this was something that happened. Of course, we do not want Tyler. I need to do more investigation before I come to a conclusion. It's hard not to come to a conclusion though, because it feels so silly. You're gonna move the UFC fight up because when's the next litigation for this ballroom? I can't. I'm over all of this. The ballroom next court date. This is all. It just feels very. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, it was mid-June 2026, June 5th, regarding the legality of the project. Yeah, and I think that it's kind of going into. I think that they now. The appeals court takes it from there, and they have. As long as they want to, I guess, kind of talk about it, and they really want to get this ballroom situation sorted out. I don't know. Keep an eye out, guys, for drones. Well, obviously, but like in terms of them reporting on it, the drone situation, and obviously, like I don't think it'll be as obvious as the ballroom, but the first thing I think of is that drone roof. What was it that he said? Ballroom drone. Free roof. It was a drone free roof, like a drone retardant roof or something. Yes, the roof. Here, I'll show you. I'll share my screen over here. Share this tab instead. The vantage point. Okay, a drone proof and deflective. The roof is constructed with exceptionally. Okay, this is exceptionally strong steel meant to repel drone strikes, causing them to bounce off the causing impact damage. I'm not even going to go into like whether or not a drone can bounce off of something, but this is not exactly some warfighter picture that he's painting. Like I'm seeing like rubber things like just bouncing around. I feel like they need to work on their vernacular if they want this to be like some military sale here, you know? But yeah, they were really leaning into that. Okay. Well, I also don't like, I know what I think the drone port is. I think it's internal, not external, but he keeps going from it's drone proof, meaning that they'll bounce off of it. It's drone proof, meaning that there's 360-degree visibility of all of DC so we can see all the drones. Make up your mind. What are we doing? Is it drone proof or is it drone retardant or is it a drone what is it? A dock on the inside of under the ceiling, which is what I think might be a drone port, like where it's internal surveillance of your facilities with a drone. I think that that's kind of the angle they're playing. But in any case, I do not have the time for ballroom right now. I need to get back to Neuralink. But I just want to say on that note, guys, thank you for the question. Oh no, what was it? Eliza? Oh shoot. There we go. Alyssa Anderson, without you. Thank you for breaking this news to me. Everybody, thank Alyssa in the chat for asking. And with that, I know no extra information now, nor did I ever. Oh, hey, wait, really quick, guys. One last thing. Sorry. 7 hours ago, USA Today. Let me share this one. Wait, you're sharing this one. Okay. USA Today Trump ballroom source to $600 million. What? Wait a second. With taxpayers on hook for half? Wait, is this USA Today? Who's reporting on this? This was at 2:36 p.m. today. What's going on here? 600 million. A new report from the Washington Post. Oh, today at 6 a.m.? I didn't even see this today yet. My God. Oh my God. If I ever do this one day, will you guys say, remember when you said you would never do this to us with this freaking pop-ups? No. Let me go over here to my other. Where is she? Where is she? Here we go. We'll do the free thing here. Web page archive. Just so I want to read this really quick with you. Okay. Share this tab instead. Okay, we're back, guys. We're safe. We're safe. No drones might be here, but there are no ads, which is I don't know, a little better. Trump said in this exclusive today, 6 a.m. by the Washington Post. Trump said no taxpayer money would be spent on the ballroom. A contractor's invoice shows otherwise. Oh, I would be curious. Okay, wait, we're gonna do 5 more minutes on this, and then I have got to go back to Neuralink. 5 months after the demolition of the White House, I'm going to just read it for a little bit. 5 months after the demolition of the White House East Wing, President Donald Trump claimed that the project to construct a massive ballroom and a bunker in his place would cost up to $400 million and that private donors would pay for all of it. I believe some of you might be familiar with some of my reporting we'll get into in a little bit. By the way, this is Sarah Blaskey and Jonathan O'Connell of the Washington Post for this reporting. This quote, "This is taxpayer free. We have no taxpayer putting up 10 cents, end quote. Trump told reporters in the Oval Office on March 31st, describing the project as including bomb shelters and major medical facilities. Did he actually use bomb shelters? I never heard him say that in his, I know he, I'm sure he did. I remember major medical facilities. I don't remember him saying bomb shelters. I know he said like protection, but that'd be interesting if he used the word bomb. But a detailed project summary prepared for the White House by the contractor more than 3 weeks before Trump's comments estimated a total construction cost of $600 million, with more than half coming from taxpayers, according to a copy of the contractor estimate obtained by the Washington Post. I believe your girl here said in her reporting, wait, let me just see what dates I put up, because I believe I pulled up similar. I'd be curious if with my what I said, because I know I reported on the taxpayers paying for a lot of it. I don't know if I gave a specific halfage number. Let's see. Wait, this where is it? 91%. Yeah, Dre v. Oracle. Okay. Oh, you're paying for Trump's ballroom. Okay, so I'll put this link in the. I'll put this in the chat really quick, so that we can. So you guys can look at it as well. Post a comment here. This is the piece I'm going to be referring to in my own reporting. And then, let's see, I wonder if I could do, I wish I could share double screen. No, I don't need to share double screen. Okay. But a detailed project summary from the White House. Okay, $600 million, more than half from taxpayers. By the time Trump made his comments in March, the federal government had already approved more than a dozen payments to contractors overseeing the work. Clark Construction, totaling tens of millions of dollars of public funds, according to a log of the contractor's invoices obtained by the Post. According to a log of the contractor's invoices obtained by the Post. But is that like obtained by the Post? Is that like the log that we all saw, that we have a log of? Because that's on sam.gov, right? Like all of the non-bid contracts. Or is that like usually they would put a link to it if of the contract. I wonder whose invoices and where they were obtained and why there's maybe that would be hyperlinked in the other thing. We'll make note of that. Since first announcing the East Wing project last July, Trump has reportedly said that the price tag would not exceed $400 million and a private donations routed through a nonprofit would cover his entire cost. At other times, he said that the Secret Service and the military would contribute security enhancements. But the Secret Service and military is the U.S. government, and that's paid for by us. So what does that mean, contribute enhancements? Without elaborating on the price of those upgrades, multiple projects provided by the White House Clark Construction show that internal costs estimates have been significantly higher than the administration's officials have acknowledged in public comments or court filings. Yeah, well, there's like almost nothing in those court filings, man. Everything that we have is public. That's all we have. I feel like nothing is put in there, at least from what I could see of the court filings. We should do a ballroom stream, shouldn't we? We should do a ball. If they would have told me that they were going to do this ahead of time, we could have made this a ballroom stream, or we could do an. We're going to do a ballroom stream soon. The next time, hey, if anybody from the government's watching this, could you coordinate with me next time? Okay, because I'd like to prepare my streams accordingly. I'd like to have my research for ballroom ready. All right, I'd like to be in ballroom ready to go mode. Thank you. I won't tell nobody. President Trump. Okay, so the White House did not extend answers about the internal cost or estimate of taxpayer funding. Okay, is this a nothing burger? Is this like a real like what spokesperson for said all project details are confidential? Yeah, and referred to questions the White House. Yeah, we know that this was okay. Is this the White House first announced the plan? Yeah. Okay. But what's this new? 1 second. However, demolition began 478. Okay. I mean, look, I'll say I need to take a look closer at this. Okay. Wait, this was April. An alleged assassin attempted to access the White House Correspondents Association. Ballroom was a national security. I bet one of them smelled something like this going on, and they said we got to get something like this out. That's what I would do if I worked for any of these news outlets, and I wanted to, get ahead of the story without claiming that they're going to try to pull something. Yeah. Okay, interesting. So I bet one of the reporters, because this isn't really new information. I mean, like this is stuff. I mean, it's good information, of course, and it's well put together and whatnot. But I bet you somebody over at the Post got a sniffing that that something was going to happen at at this event, or that something was going to. I don't know, they were going to coordinate some sort of posting, and I bet there's a reason why they posted this morning. It just feels like odd timing for them not to have mentioned the ballroom yet. So anyways, guys, I don't know. Did any of that make sense? Did we learn anything just in general from this Justice Department charged in a plot to attack and kill government officials? Jesus. Listen, here's my thing. Maybe if you were more likable, people wouldn't be coming at. I don't know. I think we got to fix something here. If not a ballroom, which let's hope not a ballroom, because what a ballroom means is that wait, one last theory, and then I for real am gonna drop the ballroom thread for now. My theory as to why. Well, I'm gonna give you a half-baked version of it because I want to put this in like real reporting. My theory as to why they want the ballroom so badly, even though everything underneath, and he said it's like this is just a shed for what's going on underneath, is that I think that they are trying to move equipment down into that space. And I think a ballroom with I think the specs had these awnings and everything. I think it allows for a lot more obfuscation of moving equipment down there. And if they're getting close to a place of wanting to, get equipment down there, they probably want to get building within the next year or so. They got supercomputers they want to move down there. I don't know. They want to get a ballroom built so that lid can do, or rather, sorry, the shed can do what a shed's supposed to do, which is cover the equipment inside it, right? And most sheds hopefully don't have a basement underneath, because otherwise you are with a serial killer, in which case we have a serial killer running the country. Maybe, I don't know. You didn't hear it here. Don't clip that. Should we get shirts that say "Don't clip that," guys? Don't clip it. Anyways, sorry, that was a little bit of a interesting thing. We're gonna have to look into that. Send me stuff on if you guys find anything interesting on this as well. I want to. They're really pushing for this ballroom date. Yeah. I mean, would a judge even go for it? I don't know. But let's round it out with this. Neuralink, the Neuralink investigation, if I can get off this live, is going to be on YouTube tomorrow and on Substack. As always, all my sources will be linked within the Substack article, and it'll be an in-depth article and video pairing. And so all of my reporting will be over there, but it will also have links to it over on YouTube as well. And thank you guys for joining me. Again, I've got to figure out how I'm going to structure myself doing this, because when I don't have somebody who's like, hey, like back to focus in the middle here, I can go on a lot of different rabbit holes. But I appreciate you guys sticking with me. And I'm setting up my camera so I don't have to have this huge. I'm using my MacBook camera right now, but I'm excited for the whole setup that I'm going to try next week. So we're experimenting here, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me through it and hanging out tonight. Thank you guys. And we're gonna don't sell your data, delete your data if you can after this, and go out and don't be surveilled if you can. And if you figure out how to do that, then let the rest of us know, because that's the name of the game now. All right, guys. I'm gonna sign off. Gabby, any last words on this stream? My lovely compadre. Oh no, yes. Uh-oh, we might have lost her. In which case, go follow Gabby over on Substack, Gabby Kaplan, and I'll link her stuff as well in the comment section of the video when it's posted. And thank you guys all for joining for today, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Go out and don't be surveilled.